Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. I'm back in my place where I was for you yesterday, and I'm back in the Proverbs ready to understand and read these Proverbs together. And I want you to go back. If you did not listen to yesterday, I gave a lot of background to the Proverbs. But the bottom line is, Proverbs are good sayings that will give us wisdom and guidance and help us grow in our understanding not only of God, but of this world and how we should live in it. Now, they're not, Proverbs are not scientific facts that you can always rely on. Proverbs are something rather that are intended to give us guidance to live, recognizing that just like Proverbs today, they always have some element of they don't always work, I guess is the right way to say it. And that's why these Proverbs are written as Proverbs. And it says in the very first verse, these are Proverbs, from mashal in the Hebrew, which means general rules of instruction, not absolute happens every time 100% guarantees. All right? So with that, I want to pick up where we left off yesterday because there's something that's really critical here in Proverbs chapter 1. If you saw yesterday, we started with Proverbs. We talked about the importance of reading and learning Proverbs, but we got down to here, verse 7 in chapter 1. And look what it says. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. I want to read that, but I want it read slowly with you. And the reason I've got this slowly read here is because the fear of the Lord, that's a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want a God that one should fear. A lot of people, when they read the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, they'll try to find ways to hedge that word fear. You know, the word fear, yarah, in the Hebrew has got this idea of holding in awe. And so a lot of people will say, well, it's holding God in awe. And that is part of the fear of the Lord. But the fear of the Lord has an element of fear of the Lord in it. That's the reason it's translated that way almost all the time. Not all the time, but almost all the time. And so some people say, well, I don't think you should fear God. I think you should love God and be warm about God. Well, I wanted to say that what Scripture teaches is we don't have one response to God. We don't have one posture before God. We have many. Jesus taught his disciples that he loved them and he called on them to love him. Jesus spoke of loving God. God speaks in the prophets of wooing his people, Israel and Judah. So there's room for fear doesn't mean there's not also room for love and devotion and compassion. But the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord. Because when we begin to understand how incredibly magnificent and powerful and knowledgeable and caring the Divine One is, when we begin to grasp that, it will open our mind up to so much more knowledge and wisdom, because we will seek that knowledge and wisdom from Him. So when you read a proverb like this, what this makes me want to do is learn more about God. And that's what we're going to be doing next week when we look at more video thoughts for the day in Bible study together. But right now, this ought to take you into the weekend. I'll see you on Monday. That's your video thought for today.